What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and are you ready to work with these energies this week? Because you know what, this is a really interesting one. Like we have just one aspect that I'm going to be talking about, but it's one where we're going to get into planetary speeds and everything because it's going to be just Mars and Mercury that are in a sextile with one another. But it's going to be this thing that's happening over like a 3 or 4 days, about a 3 day span that this is going to be happening there. It's going to reach an exact placement twice. And it's really kind of, there's something there, a little pocket of opportunities to make some sort of corrections and things. But we'll get into all that here in a moment. But if you're new here, again, my name is Justin. And one of the things that I do in this channel is talk about the Celestial News Weekly, the chit chat that goes on up in the sky. And I'm going to be covering the week of August 14th through the 20th, 2025. And let's go ahead and get into this thing here. Here's the position of where the planets are at Saturn. Finally clearing out of that. It's finally in like 0 degrees of Aries. So chucking along there. Sun's almost getting ready to enter into Virgo here soon. That conjunction is separating. That opposition is separating. So Mercury's retro or moving direct, so the dust is, like I said, is settling here. And we start off the aspect on a Jupiter day, the 14th of August. And like I said, it's that sextile with Mars. And it's happening at 5 degrees and 4 minutes. Mercury's in Leo and Mars is in Libra. Now, when you're thinking about the sextile energy, if you're looking at the chart here, is when the planets or the celestial bodies are about 60 degrees apart from one another, and the sextiles are harmonious aspect here. That's why I kind of put this one here in yellow, even though it's a malefic. It's still there's a chance here to work constructively with Mars. And the sextiles can create the sense of opportunities, whether it be through collaboration or it's through just kind of creative problem solving. There's growth that comes with the sextile, but it's one that you have to, it's a softer aspect, so you kind of have to take initiative for this thing. But if you do, the sextiles can give, for sure. But the interesting thing that I think about that's happening here is that normally when we're talking about aspects, it's the faster planet that's applying to the slower planet. In this instance, Mercury is normally faster than Mars. But because it's only been a few days since Mercury's been out of retrograde, it's like waking up out of a nap. Mercury's still a little groggy. It's still kind of picking up its speed there. And in this instance, where it is Mercury sextiling Mars, Mars is technically the faster one in this instance. And so it creates this little unique thing that's going to be happening where this aspect is going to form two exact aspects here. First at 5 degrees and 4 minutes, and then it'll complete there on Sunday, the 17th of August. And it'll complete, it's literally just exactly 2 degrees, and it goes to 7 degrees and 4 minutes of Leo and Libra, respectively. So there's this pocket here for some sort of correction. Maybe this opposition, because there was a lot of energies that happened with the Mercury retrograde, with this opposition with Mars and Saturn. I think that Venus and Jupiter did as much mitigation as they absolutely could, and there were some good things back, but it was definitely kind of like a mixed bag. I just pictured like a bag of possums and cats. And so this can be a great time if there's been something, especially if you need something to take kind of like immediate actions. Like maybe you realize there's like something that came up in a relationship that happened, or maybe something in a job, something in, where you're living, something in your finance, whatever this thing is. This can be a time to take, again, some immediate action to not just take this action, with this Mars and Libra, to take like decisive action. I'm going to do this thing, and then Mercury and Leo will commit to that. And by the time and this is something where take your time with this thing, work with the energies, let it build up, set the intention as it starts to build, because again, they're going to be following each other over these next couple of days there until Mercury eventually passes Mars and gets a move in. So, yeah, if there's anything that you are wanting that is needing the correction, maybe there's a conversation that's needing to be had, any sort of initiative that if you just need any kind of help, like this could be one where that Mars, it at least can help you at least find the options that you need in order to get these things done there. Because the nice thing, even to think about too, where Mars is the malefic, but it's in reception with its domicile Lord Venus, and Venus is overcoming Mars, Jupiter is overcoming Mars. Again, that Saturn opposition is separating, so that's kind of nice. Mars is eventually where it will work up to a square with Jupiter here soon. But I think this is a chance for a reset. I think this is what happened there. Definitely, if you feel like you got thrown off balance, with all this stuff, especially maybe if you're in like a Mercury year, then maybe that's somewhere this retrograde was doing a lot, or if you're in a Mars year, maybe there's something particularly hard going on. But yeah, this is, I think for me, like some kind of reset here, an opportunity to, yeah, to just correct any sort of things, any sort of tensions, any sort of like anything that Mars and that Saturn may have separated or put some distance or whatever that might be. So, the only thing that I can think that would, because otherwise this could just be just kind of like maybe just feeling like just an easier time here, but it's just like, I don't know. There's something about feeling like, especially if you've been feeling out of control, of an opportunity to feel more, just more grounded. More able to comprehend what's going on there. To just kind of get a good visual about what's going forward. So, work with this. I think that this can be, and it's interesting again that it's creating this really long pocket here. So, I think that there's something to explore in that for sure. So just apply it to your situation, and you may be feeling this more potently. And I would check if you have anything between like 5 and 7 degrees of especially the cardinal and the fixed signs, because the Mercury is going to be forming a square with all the fixed signs. That's Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. And the Mars is going to be forming a square with all the cardinal signs. That's Cancer, Libra, well, not just squares, but it's going to be forming the harder aspects with them, whether it be conjunctions, squares, or oppositions with Cancer, Libra, Aries, and Capricorn. So those are going to be some things to just kind of watch out there for you, well, to see if this is working with you more personally. Like I'm trying to think of this one, even for my chart, for example. This is all just kind of easy aspects for me. Mercury is actually conjunct will be forming a conjunction with my natal Mercury for the like third time. So there's that, and so Mars will be sextiling that too. So that'll be kind of an interesting kind of fusion there, but. Yeah, those would be just some ways to just kind of pay attention to that, see what houses these themes may be coming up for you there, just to get a better idea of how this may be working for you. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you there. But again, very interesting things, and it's really fascinating again when you're watching the planetary speeds and how like sometimes it's just like there's these unique pockets I think that are forming, and the energies are really I think trying to work with us. So. But yeah, and hopefully, what too, if you got, I've been posting some pictures of this too, but if you still got a chance, they're starting to, let me actually go back to the chart really quick. They're starting to separate here, but Venus and Jupiter, if you can get a chance out there to still kind of see them while you can catch them rising. I've been getting up around like 4 a.m. Pacific time, and I've been able to catch them both really well. Even Saturn's out to play, so definitely get out there and see these planets. And that even too gives you a good feel about as far as like how these things may be. It just gives you a different feel to the astrology, and helps you to really conceptualize this, to see how the ancestors, how they went to interpret these stars. So yeah, really really fascinating there, but. Yeah, that's all I got for you. So, and if this is something where, and leave in the comment section, how have you been working with these energies? How have these themes have showed up in your chart, and how you've been, just how you've been dealing with those things. And if there's something where you want to explore this more personally, whether looking to see how the natal or how the transiting planets are affecting your chart, maybe see what perfection year you're in, to see what, where ones are going to be more highlighted, or if you're just trying to set aside, plan any sort of like elections, whether it be for trips, weddings, books, whatever it is that you happen to be doing, then down in the description box there's a link to book a consultation with me, so definitely check that out. And my email's down there too if you have any questions about the services that I provide. And then there's also a playlist for the lunar shenanigans, which talks about the astrology of the moon. Considering that we just have this one aspect for it, you can get a better feel for how the energy of the week by following the moon. And that's a really good kind of guideline, especially when the other celestial bodies are a bit more quiet. The moon is always talking, usually. So that's something where if you want to follow that and kind of just get a feel for the energies that are going on there. lunar shenanigans. There's a playlist down there in the description box as well. And then I also have these different playlists talk about different celestial bodies in different signs and different houses, and that's all organized for you there by playlist. So definitely check that out and kind of my thoughts on them. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you there. So until next time, stay mindful out there and keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one, Mercury Day.